guys, hope you're doing very well. In today's video I am going to be doing another tattoo etiquette video. You guys seem to really like these videos. This video series is my most popular video series that I do. Just people all seem to enjoy these. I think it's like a react video type thing. People like reacting videos. I do too. So if you haven't seen one of my tattoo etiquette videos before, basically what I do is I take a subject, or I take a YouTuber, or I take a whatever, and I react to it and I talk about it. Most of the things that I do talk about are like misinformation within tattoos. So someone will say something wrong and then I'll just like correct them or whatever, just to get out proper tattoo information and tattoo education. There isn't much tattoo information out there on the internet. Well, there's more than what there was when I was younger, but I don't know, I feel like it's handy and helpful to tell people about tattoos and correct people and stuff like that. This one is a little bit different. This is a tattoo etiquette video on a YouTuber I've actually never come across before, but this was in my video recommendations on YouTube. Pretty much any tattoo video gets put on my YouTube recommendations because obviously that's the content I create, so they recommend the same type of videos to me or whatever. I don't know how YouTube works. So yeah, I gave this video a watch. So this video is by Elise, it's either Buch or Buch, I'm not sure how to say her last name. If anyone feels like I'm coming across rude saying that, honestly I just have the worst time pronouncing names. Just look at my videos, I have a track record of it, so I'm not being rude, I'm just very bad at pronouncing names. But yeah, she's a vlogger from Denmark. Again, I haven't seen any of her previous videos before. This is the only video that I've seen of hers, but I had to scroll through her channel and she's just like a regular vlogger type thing. Like she vlogs about her life and what have you, and fashion and stuff like that. She has a house bunny as well. I have a house bunny, so I kind of connected with her on that one. But she uploaded a video on the 16th of July saying let's talk about tattoos.
The hardest part about being a content creator is that people want your honest opinion about stuff. Remove the sound. But sometimes when you give them that, they realize that was not their opinion and the opinion that they were hoping for, and therefore they're gonna dislike what you have told them anyway. So I hope you're gonna stay open-minded to this video, because I'm gonna share with you my opinion, my outlook on tattoos.
Like I said in that clip, everything in her video and anything I'm going to post in this video of her video is her opinion, and she is 110% entitled to her opinion. But I just want to talk about what she's saying from a tattooed person side of things, because she mentions a few things that a lot of non-tattooed people do talk about when it comes to tattooed people. So I just wanted to talk about them and address them and just have a conversational type video. That's what we do here. I'd love to know your opinions on the stuff I'm saying, on the stuff she's saying. This is what this whole tattoo etiquette videos are about. It's like a discussional thing, and we all talk about what we think on the topic. I do want to do a disclaimer also, don't go sending Elise any hate or anything. Again, like I just said, it is her opinion. Don't bombard her with hate or anything. I'm not about that life. I don't want to be responsible for this girl having a load of like dislikes or whatever. It is her opinion, and yeah, we're all entitled to it. So for context, the reason why Elise posted this video is because she recently tried a temporary tattoo of, I think it was like a moon phase thing from like a chest to like a sternum area, and she got loads of questions saying would you ever get a tattoo, what's your opinion on real tattoos. So she thought she'd make a video about her whole opinions on tattoos and what she thinks of them.
4 years ago I had this idea in my mind. I knew what tattoo I was gonna get if I was gonna get one. And I actually had it like printed out. I put it up in my closet. I'm gonna put it on the screen. It was this moon with a face, not moon, a sun with a face. I printed it out and I hung it up in my closet, and I had it hanging there for 2 years so that I could look at it and I could like really think this through if it was something I was gonna go through with. Now 4 years later, I'm really happy that I never got that tattoo, because in 4 years, from I was 20 to I'm now 24, so much have changed. So much of like my opinion about stuff has changed through those 4 years.
Okay, first of all, that is someone else's artwork, so it's probably a good job that she didn't get that tattooed on her, because that's someone else's hard work, and you don't get other people's artwork tattooed on you. without permission anyway. Like if you get permission from the original artist that it's okay, then okay, go for it, but 9 times out of 10 people don't do that. So when I first started getting tattooed, I heard from a lot of people that you should put your tattoo idea on the wall for about a year to 3 years, whatever. A lot of elder people recommended this to me, and I've been asked, like, do you design your tattoos? Do you put them on the wall? Do you look at them to see if you actually like them? And the answer is no. I just think that's such a silly idea. I've never personally understood that whole method. When you get tattoos, you kind of forget that they're there. You don't look at them all the time because they become a part of you. Like, of course you see them in the mirror and stuff, but you don't focus on them. It sort of becomes second nature. So it's just like birthmarks or like freckles or whatever. You just get used to seeing them, so you don't notice them as much. So it's not exactly the same as having, like, I don't know, a picture on the wall or whatever, because you tend to notice them more often because, like, it's there in front of your eyes. But when it's a part of you, you don't sit there and just like stare at your skin and look at your tattoos all the time. So you definitely won't get bored of them. I've heard that a lot. I've been asked a lot of times in my life, what if you get bored of your tattoos? But the thing is, you don't get bored of something you don't actively see all the time. I know that doesn't make sense, and if you have tattoos you can probably understand what I'm saying. If you don't have tattoos, you're probably like, bitch, what the fuck are you talking about? But they just become a part of you. Like, you just don't notice them anymore. I mean, you notice them, but like, you don't. If you look back at a couple of videos I did recently, which is drawing my tattoos from memory, it's so hard to remember what your tattoos look like because you don't actively, Elmo, sorry, my rabbit is making noise. But yeah, you just like forget all the little details and stuff, so you don't get bored of them because you don't see them.
As I also said before, I quickly see too many tattoos on one body. It has become extremely popular to get as much as your skin covered as possible. And I actually think this has been like my time on Tinder that had made me realize that I actually dislike tattoos more than I thought. Because to me, when you have so much of your skin covered and so much going on your skin, I actually think it takes the attention away from your eyes. I don't really see eyes and face and smile as much anymore. Those tattoos really catch my attention. And I just don't really like that. And that has actually surprised me. I didn't even know that, but I've just seen myself reacting that way over and over again, and I've been like, maybe that's just how I feel.
So she definitely has a point here. I definitely notice tattoos on people first, but I'm coming from a different side of things. I get super excited anytime I see someone with a tattoo or tattoos or is heavily tattooed. I absolutely love seeing fellow tattooed people because where I live it's kind of rare to come across people with, say, 2 sleeves, maybe a neck tattoo, a face tattoo or whatever. So anytime I do see a heavily tattooed person, I get well excited. I'm just like, hello, hi, nice to meet you, but I'm shy so I don't actually speak to them. But I personally get excited from seeing other tattooed people, and it doesn't bother me. Like, I don't know, I guess it's because I'm like a tattoo enthusiast, and anytime I come across someone else that is a tattoo enthusiast, I just like enjoy their presence, and I just know that they're most probably a very cool person and they have a huge appreciation for tattoos and art itself. And yeah, I don't see it as a negative thing to notice tattoos straight away. Again, it's just an opinion thing, I guess. I don't know. Like, yeah, of course you're gonna notice the tattoos first because, like, it's different. But different is good.
To me, a tattoo is a really big decision, and I sometimes feel that people forget that when they get a when they get their boyfriend's name tattooed or some kind of quote that they live after, like at the moment. But as people develop, grow and get older, we change a lot, and our views on the world and stuff can change a lot too. So you might end up 4 years later having an ex-boyfriend's name on your body. You might end up having a quote that you can't really see yourself living after anymore because it was something that were a part of your life 4 years ago, but you still have it tattooed on you so that every time other people can see it, that's like a way for you to express yourself that is actually not you anymore. If that makes sense, like we change so much that some of the tattoos that we're gonna get, it might not really be us 5 years later. And to me, I just don't really think that I could enjoy a drawing, the same colors, the same everything on my skin for that long. And I would be so afraid that things were gonna change for me, that my opinion, my life, everything was gonna change, and it would just be, I don't know, I couldn't see myself in it anymore. Like,
so Elise has the same concerns as many untattooed people. What she's saying isn't uncommon, and I have these things said to me many times, like on a weekly basis. Again, like I was saying, you end up not noticing your tattoos. Like, nobody sits there and admires their tattoos on a daily basis. Like, one, nobody's got time for that. The only time you admire a tattoo is when it's brand new and you're so excited, you're just like, yes bitch, this line work, yes, this saturation, it's so good. And then like after like the honeymoon phase, you kind of just like don't notice it anymore. I've been getting tattooed for 11 years now, and while some of my older ones didn't survive and I've had cover-ups, some of them have survived. She mentioned about quote tattoos and how your mind might change in 5 years, I think she said. I got this quote tattoo here 9 years ago. It says, in order to be irreplaceable, one must always be different. And the reason why I got this is because when I was like a younger kid, like a young teenager or whatever, I always tried to fit in. I always thought like I have to be like everyone else. And that just wasn't me. Like, I'm quite an oddball person. I have many different interests and I don't fit into one category or one stereotype, and I always tried to fit into one. I always thought I had to have a label to me, and I kind of snapped out of it when I was sort of like 18, 19, and when I saw this quote I was like, this fits me so well. Like, I can stand by this whole message of like, in order to be irreplaceable you must be different. Like, you need to be yourself, so if you are different, embrace it, enjoy it. And I still stand by this like 9 years later. It is a bit cheesy, it is a Coco Chanel quote. I'm not much of a, like, I used to love like designer clothes. Well, I never owned designer clothes, but I was fascinated by like Fashion Week and stuff like that years back, and I thought that kind of fit me. So that doesn't fit me anymore, but I still live by that quote, and I think I will for however long I shall live. And I definitely feel like quotes are something you won't get bored of unless it's like super cheesy, like something like YOLO. Like, if you have the word YOLO tattooed on you, that might have lost its pizzazz, but I kind of live by the YOLO motto, to be honest. I try not to say it, but fuck it, you only live once, right?
I've also often heard people say that they can get it removed in case they change their minds. I think people need to like read up on that. It's a lot more difficult than you think. It takes a long time. I've seen programs with people who have come to regret their tattoos, and it can take like more than a year before it's gone. It's really painful and a hard thing to go through, getting your tattoo removed. So it's not just, of course it depends on the size and everything, but it's not just a one day to the other decision that you want to get your tattoo removed, and it costs money as well. So I think it is something that you should think about.
Okay, first of all, getting information about tattoos on a tattoo TV show, not a good idea. Don't get information about tattoos from a TV show. It's all dramatized and over processed, if you will, and just don't get tattoo information from a TV show unless it's needles and pins. That's the only tattoo TV show I've never had a problem with, to be honest. Secondly, yes, tattoo removal is a very lengthy process. It can take up to a year, maybe a little bit longer, it could be shorter, but the size of the tattoo has got nothing to do with how long the removal takes. It's all down to the tattoo pigment and what colours you have in that tattoo. Some pigments and colours break up faster than others, so you've definitely got to do your research on that. So if you are looking to remove a tattoo, you've got to look at which pigments evaporate faster. Just talk to the tattoo laser person, woman, man, and they'll let you know like what breaks up faster, because they'll have a bit more experience with it. I've never had anything lasered off as of yet. It's definitely something I want to dabble in. Like, I want to know how it feels. I know that's a weird thing, but people do say it's more painful. Some people say it's less painful than getting an actual tattoo, so I kind of want to know what it feels like myself. Let me know if you've had any removal. I know there's a couple of you guys that have had tattoos removed. You also don't have to remove a tattoo, like you can have a cover up. What a cover up is, if you don't know, is where you take an old tattoo, say this one here, this is definitely one that I want to have covered up in my time, this one on my hand here, but you can have a tattoo put over it. It sometimes will be a bit darker just to cover up that ink, or you can have a tattoo rework, which is what I've recently had done to this rose tattoo. So what this looked like before was awful. I'm sure some of you have seen it, but it just looked like a cabbage basically. But then I had an artist, Emma Arietti, she is a goddess, and she turned my cabbage into a beautiful rose. Like it looks like a rose now. So that's another option. You don't always have to go down the laser route, because laser again is a lengthy process. It is kind of expensive. I feel like the price of laser has come down considerably over the years. There's definitely a lot more laser clinics. Normally you would probably have to travel to get a tattoo laser removed, but I feel like every town has some studio or shop or whatever that has a tattoo laser removal machine nowadays. I think there's like 2 or 3 in my town, and I live in a small-ish town. Not like really small, but smallish. So they're very accessible, so the prices are now competitive and they're a little bit cheaper, so don't let that put you off. And if you do want to remove a tattoo, just whatever, like it's one of those things, like you can't live like for the future. I'll talk about that more in a minute.
Also, tattoos are such a big trend at the moment. It's such an in thing to have tattoos, and that is also something that I've sometimes thought about, that people who do what I do, like put pictures up on Instagram, do videos, tattoos has been such a popular thing that honestly I think sometimes people have been getting tattoos just so they had something to create on YouTube or something to put up on Instagram, because it's so popular. It gets so many likes, so much engagement, and I'm just sometimes afraid that people do it because it's so popular and just forget to really think and really feel inside themselves if it is their thing, or if it's actually not really their thing, but it's just a really popular thing that's going on. That sometimes you can get dragged into these popular things without it really being you, if that makes sense. And I think that's a bit scary. I've always been a bit afraid of trends, because is it really something that I want? Is it something that I feel is me, or if it's just a trend? I think we've all tried to wear some clothes, and then after a few years we've been like, why on earth did I wear that? And it was because it was trendy. We thought it was gonna be cool, but actually it was not. I don't know.
This one is so hard to talk about without getting like a bit personal and a bit mad, because I hate when people compare tattoos to fashion trends. I just can't stand it, because first of all, I'm offended. Nobody who takes tattoos seriously, like myself and other creators on YouTube that do focus on tattoo related content on YouTube, you know, within their videos and stuff, will go out of their way to get a tattoo just to make a video. Like that, like come on now, that's fucking ridiculous. Nobody would do that. Well, from the serious side of things, there's probably like, I don't know, your Jake Paulers and those stupid creators that are just fucking, I can't stand them. People that do stuff for views. But when you have people like me who sit down and we talk about tattoos, we talk about the pros and the cons, like we talk about the bad stuff too. Like we wouldn't go out of our way to get a tattoo just for a video. Like it's not worth it. It's not worth it at all. I always get tattooed for myself, nobody else. Like nobody else has influence on what I do to my body. I choose my tattoos, I get them because I want them, not for a video or whatever. Yeah, I do make videos on every single new tattoo I get, but I do that for like an educational thing and because I'm excited. Like why not? Like why wouldn't I talk about a new tattoo? Because like they're fun and it's an exciting process and people like to hear about it. If they didn't like to hear about it, I wouldn't have a lovely audience that come back to my videos every single time I upload. So the whole like getting it for social media or getting it for the gram or whatever people say. It's not true for the most part. Back to the whole tattoos are a trend thing. I don't want to state the obvious, but I'm going to. For the sake of this video, tattoos have been around for thousands of years. They're not a thing that's just popped up over the past, like, I don't know, 100 years or whatever. They've been around for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Ancient Egyptians had tattoos, there's mummies and what have you that are very well preserved, and they had markings on their skin which are obviously tattoos because like they've lasted this long. There's tribes and what have you that got tattoos thousands of years ago and still to this day that represent like social status and stuff like that. So they haven't just popped up. They're not a trend. They may be seen as a trend because they are getting more and more popular, but something that's been around for thousands and thousands of years cannot be a trend. Now, with saying that, there is a trend within tattoos. So if we look back a few years ago, loads of people were getting dream catchers. If you look back to the late 90s, early 2000s, loads of people were getting tribal tattoos. Now that is obviously a trend within tattooing, but tattoos themselves are not a trend.
I'm just afraid that things are going to change. That how are we going to look at tattoos in like 15 years from now? Is it going to be is it something that we're going to look down on, and a lot of people maybe going to get them removed again because it's going to be very unpopular? And that's just another thing that I take into consideration. And like with my dreadlocks, I can brush them out and I can have like no signs of my body of a specific time in my life, or like have this very strong expression because I can just brush them out. I cannot just get a big sleeve removed in case I change my mind and I want to have like a softer look or like another look.
A softer look? Do I look hard then or something? Am I looking like Vin Diesel right now or something? Like, I don't understand the correlation there with the tattoos make you look hard or whatever. I'm definitely not hard, like. Yeah. So the statistic, I can't say that word, statistic is that 1 in 4 people have a tattoo nowadays. I highly doubt that we're all going to turn our backs on tattoos in 15 years, especially as they have been around for thousands and thousands of years. They are only just getting more popular. We're not all of a sudden going to crash down and just hate on them. Especially as so many people have tattoos now, like 1 in 4 people have tattoos, so we're not all just going to turn our back on those people. I can never imagine that happening at all. It's just not going to happen. You can't live for the future. This is going to sound so, what's the word I'm looking for? Like preachy and philosophical, or whatever the word is that I'm looking for. But you cannot live for the future. I get people saying this to me all the time, like, well, what if I don't like it in the future? Like, I don't know what my future holds. Like, I cannot get tattooed for the fear of the future or whatever. Not to sound morbid or whatever, but you don't know what your future holds. Like, you could walk outside tomorrow and get hit by a bus, or, you know, you might get an illness that shortens your life. Like my mum, like, she passed away when she was in her 50s. Like, that's a thing that I feel like may happen to me. I know that sounds so dark, but you don't know your future, so why are you worrying about it? Don't worry about your future. Live for now. If you want that tattoo, get it. Obviously, be sensible about it. Don't just start, you know, getting hand tattoos and then you want to be a lawyer and you can't be a lawyer because, like, corporations are like anti-tattoo or whatever, which is still a problem. As long as you're smart about your choices, then get the tattoo. You know, if you want a arm tattoo, or if you want a big back tattoo, or if you want a small ankle tattoo, if you want a wrist tattoo but you're worried about the future, just do it. Just be smart about it. Think about what you want as a career and how that tattoo will affect that side of things. Other than that, go for it. Don't worry about this whole tattoos may die out in fashion in 15 years or whatever, and even if they do, you do have laser, right? That's an option. Just like, I'm quite a carefree person, so I'm probably the worst person to give advice on stuff like this, but you just don't know, so just do it. Like, just do it.
But it's not like any other trend, like getting a piercing in your nose, because you can easily take it out. This is a trend that's a lot more permanent on your body, and I'm really curious to see how it's all gonna look in like 15 years from now. And just like 5 years from now, how many are we that just doesn't have tattoos anymore in like my age? So yeah, I hope that you understood this talk. I have nothing against like tattoos. I can find them very, very visually pleasing, very beautiful, cool, but I can't see myself ever getting a tattoo. Maybe it's just because I always just think too much, like I overthink stuff, and I look at stuff from like every like perspective possible in my brain, and these are just the thoughts that I've concluded that this is not going to be for me. It would be too scary for me to think about regretting it or changing my mind.
She seems so sweet, and I do feel bad making this video because she does seem so genuinely sweet, but regretting tattoos is definitely a #1 concern of every person. Tattoos really aren't that serious. A lot of people do hype up tattoos to be a big serious deal and it's a big thing, and I don't know whether it's because I've become so carefree with tattoos and because I have so many now, but I think even looking back when I first started getting tattooed, I didn't really have the whole I'm gonna regret this in my mind. I think it's just like a mindset thing, I don't know. I've personally never regretted a tattoo. I don't know how many tattoos I have, to be honest. I'm thinking around about 30 to 40, definitely on the late 30s, going into 40. I've personally had 3 cover-ups, and the reason why I had the cover-ups is because the original old tattoo, they were done badly. The whole story behind this, I mean, I've said this many times, if you're a regular viewer, I apologise for repeating myself, but when I first started getting tattooed, I had no knowledge of how good a tattoo could be, what a good tattoo looks like. I kind of just got tattooed because I wanted them and I liked them. Obviously, as time has gone by, I have got much better tattoos. I've learned a lot more along the way, but the tattoos that I got when I was like 17, 18, I had 3 of them covered up because they were badly done, and I just wanted something bigger and better there, and I knew I could get something bigger and better there, so I just did it, and now I'm much happier with them. But I never ever regretted them, like never. I never thought, oh my god, this was such a bad mistake, what have I done, I hate my skin, I hate the way I look. I've never thought that, and I don't know anyone that has thought like that. Like, I don't know who these people are that regret their tattoos, because people always talk about the people that regret these tattoos, but who are these people? I have never met anyone or talked to anyone that has regretted their tattoos. Yes, there's people out there that don't like them, but to me regret is a big like emotion, like it's a serious thing. There's definitely a difference between regret and not liking something, and maybe people like get that confused. But yeah, I feel like this whole tattoo regret thing is well, it's not a myth. I guess there is people that regret tattoos and stuff, especially like drunken ones or whatever, but I don't know. Anyway, that concludes this video. I'd love to know your opinions on this video, on what I've said and on what Elise has said also. Let me know your thoughts and opinions, and it's all like a discussional piece. Like, don't take any of what I've said too seriously or what she said too seriously. It's all opinions at the end of the day. It's kind of like non-tattooed versus tattooed in this situation, but it's not like a boxing match. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, we're not gonna do a KSI and Logan Paul here. Like, it's not that serious at the end of the day. But yeah, I hope you guys are all doing very, very well, and until my next video, bye.